Hello JavaScripters and PHPers, it's Bruce here with a little Sunday morning inspiration. I got a request on how you can implement like boxes or inputs or whatever on a web page that as you type something, the data gets fetched from a database for the particular choices. So I ripped out my Google PhD and I found autoComplete.js. It's a JavaScript library. There's a lot of these types of libraries around. Some of them, for vanilla JavaScript and some of them for jQuery. I found a vanilla JavaScript one. It's called autoComplete.js. And what I'm going to do is I have a MySQL table here, a MySQL table of student names, first names, and last names. It's fake data, fear not. And what I put together here was a page where you can just start typing in, pardon my mistake, a letter, right? And you can see these names getting retrieved, right, from that database, believe it or not, okay? So I'm using fetch to make a call to a PHP script I wrote, which I'll show you. And when I find a name, right, and I select it, it says Adrian Rosa was selected, right? Now, I haven't explored what the mode here does, whether it's strict or loose, what that does, but I was able to put together using their code, right, a quick little example that does, the kind of thing that you see a lot, right, on web pages. So let's go through it. Let's look at the PHP first. So I have a PHP file called fetch.php. It has nothing to do with the JavaScript fetch method. And what it is it establishes a MySQL connection. I query the database, getting the first name and last name from the student table that I showed you earlier. Now, I'm a little weak on SQL sometimes, and I know I probably could have combined these two. But what I'm doing here is I'm creating a new array, and then I'm pushing on to that array as I loop through each record in the result set that's returned, and I build a key called student_name, and then I combine the first name and last name together, and I then encode it into JSON so I can send it back for when this script is called to JavaScript. All right. So that's it. That's all the PHP, right? That's it. So now here's a crap load of JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. So this is kind of the sample code that they gave me, and I'm gonna zip it up so you can have access to it. And it calls a CDN for the JavaScript that they use, and actually, I don't think I even need this link to the style sheet on the web because I do actually. So I don't have all the CSS, so we'll just put that back. And there it is right there. So the style sheet is coming in from the web. And then I have my own JavaScript here that's going, well, not my own, but theirs that I just placed in a separate script file. So that script file is a monster. Okay, it's full of stuff I mean, my JavaScripters, all this stuff. It's just a lot of code, right? It's a lot of code, and it's a really great example of how a professional programmer put together, a way to perform, a fetch, query using asynchronous JavaScript, right? And to update the DOM, right? With this, if I go back here, with this like list, right? These are list items in a list, right? And there's some really cool stuff in here because I can do stuff like this. I can say, give me back 15 results instead of 5. I'll go back here, I'll refresh the page, and now I'll type Q, and of course there's only probably, there we go. So I typed A, and you can see now that I get a whole bunch, right, of names, right? So I'm gonna zip up this code there are a lot of examples on the web, for this kind of stuff. So I want you to explore this code as well as others. And if you have any questions, let me know. And for my PHPers, this is some really good stuff that you could, stitch into your, final project and such. So ask questions, be inquisitive. I'd appreciate questions about this, because this is just a little bit of code that can go a long way for a great user experience. Have a great Sunday, everybody.